Today is March 5th, 2025, and I'm your host, Fingy. Before we get into today's session, I do urge you to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can stay in the loop with all the amazing music we have going down in this studio. With that being said, we're on all streaming services, so Spotify, Apple Music, you name it, we are there. But today we got JG Shadid in the building. This is a multi-hyphenate artist that's music spans across cinematic folk, minimalist piano, experimental soundscapes, and neoclassical compositions. He's a film composer, he's an educator, he's a recording studio owner, and just a downright servant to art and music itself. So we're so lucky to have him here today. Let's take it away. Hey guys, this has always perplexed us here at Audiotree. Over 88% of you that watch our show are not subscribed to our channel. Kind of wild, right? So could you please do us a favor? If you like this show and you like discovering new music and you wish to support us, the free and simple way to do that is to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And our commitment to you, if you do that, our team will continue to book the best bands we can, listen to your feedback, and book who you want to hear on this show, continuing to capture and share astounding music to you all. Thank you. Wow, what a way to start the day.
It's my favorite way to start the day.
And you know what? I think it's a new favorite of mine as well.
Amazing.
This last song you just played was The Art of Speaking Softly, which
That's right.
I'm under the impression is the title track of your new project.
It is, totally. It's the title track of the new record.
Could you expand more upon this new record and what the concept is?
Yeah, the concept is The Art of Speaking Softly. It's finding ways to respond gently and with stillness, and finding that, for me, that helps improve healthy dialogue with yourself and with the people in your life. So speaking softly doesn't necessarily mean, although it also includes speaking softly, but just reacting and responding softly and allowing that to unfold into the music and the way that we play together. And we talked about all these concepts before we recorded the music, and so we allowed that to be a mantra for the production as well.
It's good to know that you had a concept going in that's also understood across your quartet as well. Could you introduce the quartet and
Of course.
The lovely other synth player in the room?
Yes. On first violin, we have Stephanie Sly Young. Second violin, Kelly Joswiak. Viola, Aaron Rafferty. And on the cello, Molly Rife. And they're always interested in talking about concepts before we begin, so I'm happy to have them.
Yeah, sounds like you got the Avengers of neoclassical composition.
For reals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, totally.
And beyond this sound, you've skated across so many genres, and for me personally, I admire someone that instead of digging deep on one sound finds ways to build bridges between others to make it all cohesive. Are there certain sounds that you resonate towards naturally, and if so, do you know what they are?
Yeah, sounds in general, or music. Well, I guess I have been attracted to and resonated with slow sounds, droning sounds. I listen to a lot of ambient music or instrumental music, and so that has clearly trickled into the way that I like to compose music as well. And as far as genre shifting, or it's just become a natural I mean, it's been a natural thing for a long time, playing different, I guess, styles or whatever. I don't love the word genre, but I like to just think of everything as under one roof, and no matter if it's a folk song or an ambient drone or a experimental thing, it just comes from a similar place, and it's under the same roof, and served on the same table, and you're invited in.
Yeah, thank you for the invitation. And I'm seeing a common thread, because also you own a studio called the Gentle Bear Studio. So I'm getting this soft, warm, and welcoming vibe that spans across your platforms and your sounds. Has this always been your own nature, or is this a response to a previous nature you once embodied?
Ooh, previous nature. I think it always has been there. Gentle Bear was a nickname that my mother gave me when I was a little boy. So I guess you could say, if she was here, she would say, yes, it's always been his nature.
Yeah.
Hi, Mom. And I feel that, and I think that I think that I reflect that to the people around me. Not that I'm always gentle. I do like and need to turn an amp up all the way with a guitar and sling the loudest possible sound and create the most dissonant feedback possible. That's also a part of, you know, what drives me and what motivates me. And I don't think that most people would refer to that as gentle, but gentle is, I go for gentle every day, I think. Yeah.
I mean, I could see the alternative perspective of something like a wall of sound almost does provide this sonic womb, although maybe off amplitude it's a lot, but I could understand how that also embodies gentleness a bit.
I agree. I do find I find solace in being completely engulfed with sound. I think that a lot of people might create anxieties or dissonance of some kind, but and it does for me too. But I often feel if I'm being taken by something and it's out of my control, like feedback or like loops or textures that have gone beyond my means of beyond my touch or my influence, then I do feel engulfed and peaceful, because without control, like I feel peaceful.
And that's something else I want to get into, but I fear we must continue on and get into that soon enough.
Excellent. I didn't introduce the synther.
Yeah,
I went up to there and then I stopped. But this is Jake Haverlack, otherwise known as Maiden King, on the Moog and other sounds and bleeps and bloops of all sorts, and master wizard of sonic communication.
What would we do without you, man?
Oh.
Not much. Not much. Dude, what's also so phenomenal about this, I'm in the can, so I'm hearing the mix live, and I don't know if it's a signal for different parts in the song or it's just the way you naturally keep tempo, but you have these inhales, and it almost feels like with every breath, we're going deeper into the song.
Yes.
Was that intentional?
Fingy, you're getting it.
I'm getting it.
Yeah,
dude.
we sometimes when performing with like this kind of stuff or with chamber music or ensemble chamber music, we try to have fluid tempos. And so instead of locking everything to a click, which we also enjoy and love doing, sometimes breath is the easiest and the most natural signifier of upbeat and downbeat, and trying not to have a rigid downbeat, but more of an exhale of a downbeat, to inform the movement of the piece a bit more.
Yeah, and especially with a composition that's so texturally based, it adds this lovely organic texture that's complementing this, analog and, well, I guess acoustic and analog and digitized sound all together.
Yes, totally.
It's a nice little soup you're making over there.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, totally.
And to circle back to what we were talking about earlier, you have a lyric in one of your songs, I Hope I Never Understand, which goes, if it's the mystery that makes life grand, I hope I never understand.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you found peace within the unknown.
Yes.
I was wondering, was there a certain time in your life that you could remember where you did find that peace?
I love that question. That song I wrote in 2022, and things were coming out of that dark period. I know we're in a different one now, but we know things, and then there are just these unknown, these mysteries in life. Whether that's the atmosphere around us or interpersonal dynamics in our friends and family relationships, that we could never know, because of our experience and who we are as individuals. And often when writing music, I was coming from a place of trying to understand something. And that serves a purpose to some degree for me, but that song was written as what I was naturally feeling to be almost an antithesis to that sentiment of just embracing the unknowns, and the mysteries of life are they carry they carry potentially a bottomless beauty that we could never know. And so trying to embrace that was important for me at the time, and since then has become a mantra of sometimes songs that you wrote years ago, they recur in ways and remind you of things and ways that you felt, and you might be focusing it through a new lens today, but it still resonates very deeply for me.
Yeah, beautiful. And these new pieces that you're coming out with, Nil Content, am I getting that correct?
Oh yeah, Nil Content.
I'm under the impression it's of the Tao philosophy of not conceding.
Fingy.
What's going
not
on
contending.
with that? Oh,
yes.
Contending. It's
or conceding. I think that could be wrapped up in there too. Not conceding. But yeah, you're right. The Tao philosophy of not contending. We contend, especially in these hyper fast and hyperactive times that we live in, where information and expression and all these things are filtering through it at such a rapid pace. Not contending became very important for me, and yes, it comes from the Tao. Not contending with anyone or anything or yourself, and yourself being a big one there. In so many ways of our lives, I feel that we are, even in the subconscious, we we are in competition with something. We're trying to be better than that, or we're trying to do this more efficiently than that, or we're trying to sound cooler than that, or something, and not contending. If you don't contend, then no one can contend with you. And if you don't contend with yourself, then you can't contend with yourself. So those pieces were composed alongside meditations of that idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it seems as though with this understanding of Taoism, maybe you subscribe to a bit of Csikszentmihalyi and this idea of flow state. Is that something that you also try to keep conscious of during creating these compositions?
Absolutely. Yeah, flow state, I guess, has maybe a lot of different definitions, but I try to actively have a flow practice every morning of I jump on this synth and create droning ambient sounds, and then meditate and think and let the mornings unfold into the day. And sometimes, and I'm grateful that oftentimes that unfolds into a flow, a creative flow. And I've found that my creative flow is maybe at its most potent or most expressive when it comes from meditation or reading Tao, and allowing that to just inform the whatever action is going to happen.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And these talents of yours, they've taken you across the globe. It makes me wonder why you choose to stay in Chicago.
Well, because this is Chicago. This is the best. I mean, I've been fortunate to be in a lot of places and share music together. Jake and I have been to many places together and shared music. And Chicago has a wonderful independent spirit, and it has, I feel community here, and I feel support here from people that I respect. And, home is as I get older, it's the way that you feel when you return to a place is what's telling you, like, this is home. And coming home from Chicago, or coming home to Chicago from wherever, it feels great every time. So, and maybe if I didn't have these wonderful opportunities to have been many places and shared music in many places, maybe I would move around a little bit or live in different places. But, we shared our music in Kyoto and Osaka and Tokyo, and we, I'm sure we had thoughts of like, oh, I could live here. Yeah. But then you really, when you share that and you get that, you've given something. You receive something back from the people who you gave it to. There are audiences there that received our music and talked to us about it, and we then bring back little pieces of Osaka to Chicago. We bring back little pieces of wherever, and that's what makes your home too. You bring back pieces from everywhere you go, hopefully, and you create your own little unique home. Mine's in Chicago.
And I love this concept of the return that feels so good, because sometimes we get stagnant when we're in one place at one time for a long enough time, but being able to travel, come back, and have that feeling is a great signifier.
Absolutely, yeah.
Lovely. Shall we close this bad boy out?
Yeah, let's play a couple more pieces of music.
Nice.
Okay.
JG Shadid, can we do this every day?
I'm on the first floor. You can just come down. I do it every day.
Yeah, you're right. I might have to take you up on that. Thank you so much for being here. That was so amazing. So good I had to sit down. You see me down
Amazing.
there?
I saw you sitting over there. Yeah.
I was
Actually, I don't know if I saw. I think I felt you just sit down against the wall.
I have a feeling Fingy is sitting, but maybe levitating.
It's that cord. Makes you just want to sit.
Something about it.
Just everybody sit.
Everybody, and then everyone collapses, and that's why, you know.
And that's power.
And that's power right there. Thank you to our crew for getting this done.
Thank you to the crew. Amazing. The famous Audiotree crew. It's wonderful to be here. It's wonderful to be captured by such souls.
And dashing, aren't they?
No, yeah.
Come on. And speaking of dashing, thank you for watching. We could not be doing this without you. And by the time you are watching this, it's already on all streaming services. So Spotify, Apple Music, you name it, this is there. Tap in. Also, if you could, subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can stay in the loop with all this amazing music. My name is Fingy. Thank you so much for watching, and we will catch you next time. Peace.
All right, so you guys want to do it for real now?